You know, people think I'm joking when I say that I'm pretty convinced that TikTok is just a Chinese psychological weapon. And the truth is, I'm only really half joking. Like, that's a pretty grand conspiracy. I'm not sure if they thought that far ahead. It may as well be, as far as I'm convinced, because it's totally turned an entire generation into a bunch of clout-hungry, brainless zombies. There are a lot of wholesome and useful short-form videos out there that are worth paying attention to, but the entire, short form video industry, or whatever you really want to call it, has a fatal flaw in that virality is such a key aspect to growing any sort of short form video empire, if you will. And when people, especially young people, see other people out there just constantly pushing the limits of absurdity that they could fit into a 1-minute video, that idea of clout is so intoxicating that it inspires a bunch of people to go out and just do whatever it takes by any means necessary to draw the most attention to themselves. Whether the motivation is money, fame, infamy, some combination of all of those, whatever the motivation is, it doesn't really matter. But there's a lot of motivation there for people to just behave absolutely crazy. What annoys me the most is people chasing these TikTok views will just, sometimes in the worst scenarios, in the worst cases, they'll develop this total main character syndrome where they're only ever focused on themselves and other people just become pawns for their own means of entertaining an audience. And it's that douchey, everyone else is irrelevant to me attitude that really just bothers me so much and is responsible for the behavior I'm about to share with you today. So a TikToker with his friend as a cameraman, they each bought 2 tickets to go up in a private hot air balloon ride with other people. And the whole reason this TikToker went up there was so that he could conceal a parachute under his jacket and jump out of the balloon mid-flight. I can already hear the annoying fucking TikTok AI voice, some dumb shit like jumping out of a hot air balloon mid-flight. Now this pissed off the man who was operating the hot air balloon, and rightfully so, because there's a number of reasons why this is just totally fucking reckless.
So yesterday I had an incident, you wouldn't believe it, but some random guy tried to jump out of my hot air balloon. He was just refusing not to jump and trying to convince me that jumping was a good idea.
That's the brain rot that I'm talking about, you know, the whole anything for views. It's like, why not just let me jump out of your hot air balloon, even though I've never done this before? Why not just let me endanger 5 other passengers for the sake of views? Clearly, this hot air balloon pilot doesn't understand the value in 10 million views for my TikTok page.
There was zero preparation. You can see clearly that this guy has never jumped out of the balloon. He was constantly asking, I found it weird, but I didn't know why. Now I understand about the weight balance and what happened with a little bit of weight disbalance in the basket.
You're not high enough.
I am high, bro.
No, you're not.
Bro,
You're not.
I've got thousands.
Dude, don't. I don't give a shit, man. You have to tell this before we need to ask for permission.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to do this. We're actually filing a fucking permit, and you fuck us up.
You know, inherent safety risks aside, this is also obviously going to put this balloon company on blast for being so negligent as to let somebody break the rules like that. And that's that common theme of never really thinking about others.
I'm telling you, man, we are actually filing a permit. If we do this illegally, man, we're fucked.
Well, you have it on video. You just tried to stop me.
What?
You have it on video. You just tried to stop me.
I don't care. I can't stop you physically. I'm going down right now.
It's that attitude right there that annoys me, because after they got back down to the ground and the whole time on the way down, this guy was just bitching and complaining about how the guy stopped him from jumping out. They actually tried to get their money back from the company because they didn't get the experience that they paid for. They fucking ruined the flight for everybody and then bitch and complain about how it wasn't what they paid for because they were stopped from doing something illegal and dangerous.
Yeah, please call the policeman. One guy is trying to jump from the balloon.
Please let him go.
Yeah.
No, that's illegal. You cannot
Yeah, but we can
do that.
decide what we want to do.
There it is, but we can decide what we want to do, because all that matters is what we want. We don't give a shit about whatever hazard this might cause. Because what you have to understand, and the pilot goes on to explain this later, a sudden change in the weight of the basket that's being held up by the balloon can impact the way that the air is collecting up at the top of the balloon. I'm not the expert here, obviously, but like there is a chance that if this man were to just like unbalance the weight so abruptly that the whole balloon could end up going down and maybe even just like completely falling out of the sky, which means the only survivor of that entire fucking accident would have been this shithead, and that would have been a big L for Darwinism.
Come on, man.
No, come on, man, no. I'm telling you, no. Stop pushing it.
Well, I mean,
I'm being serious here, man.
I know you're being serious.
Yeah, stop it.
But, I mean, just don't
No.
handle the rig, man. Come on.
I'm not letting you jump. Okay, it's over.
Sounds like a fucking child arguing with his mommy, and this pilot over here had to show him who was daddy. Real alpha move by the pilot, holding him back like that. Maybe it wasn't totally intentional, but China has been making us dumber on average thanks to TikTok.
Stop it.
Bro, come on,
If
man.
you don't let go of my hand, I'll hit you.
Patology
Stop
sir.
it.
You let go of my rig.
No,
man.
I'm not letting you. You're trying to jump, man. I'm not letting you go. I'm sorry. I have to physically stop you from jumping. That's
Bro, we're here. Let me show you. Now we're not really high enough anymore. God damn it.
He says "God damn you" at the end there, if you could hear him. That's unfucking believable. He feels this entitled to be able to endanger just totally innocent people like that.
When you get your A license,
yeah.
before you even get your A license, 3,000 feet. When you have like 15 skydives, they send you out at 3,000 feet. I have 2,000 skydives. We were plenty high. I would have had enough. I would have had enough time to take a 10-second delay.
Yeah, I don't care.
right.
I'm not allowed to throw skydivers. We're filing a fucking permit. And if you do it, and we do it illegally, we will not be able to do it, man. And I'm responsible for this flight.
The fact he went on to demand his money back after this just absolutely fucking boils my blood. He's fucking whining all the way down. Oh man, we were high enough to do it. If you could have just let me jump, bro. Like, we were totally high enough before. Now we're not high enough.
You can see he's even bragging about his experience and telling me I have no idea of what I'm talking about and all that. He only refused when it was actually too late to jump, which was one of my intentions going down. And then not only he states he didn't know what the safety situation would be with the balloon, but he's discussing with his friend that he should have sat on the other side of the basket so I would have not been able to grab him and he could have actually illegally jumped.
No, but I was trying to do it for because he was worried about the weight. I was trying to do it for. I didn't know what the safety situation would be with the balloon, so I wanted to give him a heads up about the weight.
Yeah, but you should have stand on this side.
I know
so
I should
can
have.
touch
Yeah.
you. I guess mission failed. We do it in some other valley.
They're not sorry about what they're doing. They are actually going to do it in another valley. So warning to any other pilot, if you see this guy approaching your balloon, you know what he's up to. And you're welcome, Julian, from saving you for spending a couple of nights in Nepali jail.
Pilot posted a second video after this talking more about what happened to them after this whole ordeal, and he went more in detail about the safety risks that they were imposing. So I'll leave that link down below if you want to check it out. And I understand why these TikTokers keep chasing the absurdity and the potential benefits they can reap from whatever absurdity they're able to pull off. And that is something within us as people who make this kind of stuff that forces us to innovate and grow and adapt over time and come up with new stuff that's better. But the shadow side to all that is exactly this kind of situation, this kind of just like douchey, entitled behavior mixed with a total disregard for others that really has me convinced at this point. I hinted at this the last time we talked about this, but I'm almost like absolutely convinced at this point something just absolutely like catastrophic and tragic is going to happen as a result of intentions like this one day. All it takes is really like one person or a handful of individuals to cause like a major havoc. And like it really like pains me to think that some innocent people in the future are going to suffer from stupidity motivated by dumb superficial bullshit like this that you find on TikTok. Push limits and make stuff that entertain us, but don't involve other people in your bullshit.